is aware that on every listing that we take, that you take, we put an AdWorks campaign on it for the first 7 days that the property is listed. And what it basically consists of is through artificial intelligence, AdWorks is able to target buyers or sellers, anyone who's gone to a real estate website, a moving company website, or a website of a mortgage company. And this would all be targeted within a 15-mile radius of the listing that you take. So we've had a tremendous amount of success, both from a branding standpoint as well as lead generation using the AdWorks program for our listings. What we're going to focus on today really is some of the other programs that AdWorks has in terms of staying in touch with clients, geographically targeting a specific market. So where, let's say, years ago, we would farm by direct mail, AdWorks has programs which allow you to farm using digital marketing. And, with that, I want to turn this over to Eric. Eric is our rep who has been with us from the beginning at AdWorks and has done a dynamite job for us, works very closely with Bridget and myself and Kyle, and is here to introduce a couple of new programs. Eric, go ahead. It's all yours.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am going to do a little bit more of a refresh because I think it's important for your agents, maybe for some of those that aren't using their automated listings, to kind of take a look, kind of talk about some of those other things that your agents are using, and then, kind of show them how it's being utilized through that program that not only you are rolling out, but our team is rolling out as well. So let me just get started so that I can actually see in real time what this looks like, because there are some things that I think are very important about the digital ads, about their listing ads that they should be using, making sure their sellers are seeing, making sure they're editing while those ads are running. So let me go ahead and jump in here real quickly and show them. The reason why this platform works as a real estate agent is because we know you all have a ton of things going on, right? From your listing appointments to your buyers to attorneys, documents, title, all that stuff that you're having to deal with the transaction, right? So this is what we like to call an automated program. This kind of takes the lift off of your hands for an ad to be created, for an ad to be run, and it runs all the time targeting the people that you want to be targeting. The reason why the listing ads are great is because it gives a component to your sellers to receive a customized report that says, hey, your agent is taking care of you with your property. And again, technology sometimes can be overwhelming, so we try and make it as easy as possible for you all to take advantage of it. These listing ads are really running for you behind the scenes. They're fully branded with that Exceptional Realtors logo, with your headshot, your information. So you all should be taking advantage of these at a high level. Again, creating those happy sellers. And like Doug mentioned, right, you have access to the fully branded AdWorks portal with the Realty Executives Exceptional Realtors brand to help you create ads, launch these digital display ads. And just like he said, you used to farm, maybe you used to do a magazine. Well, people are spending a ton of time on their screens now, right? So this is the way I like to explain this is we like to create a digital billboard for you all, right? So as people are driving down the internet highway, if it's on social media, if it's reading the news, if it's looking at the weather, looking for a recipe, we find the right person and we target them with your ad, which is huge. Now, first and foremost, super exciting, your listing ads. We made these really, really nice, really crisp, clean, and we've added the motion piece to it, which is really, really big, and I'll talk to it in a second. But this is for all your listings. You're going to get thousands of impressions across the web, social media for a week, and these are generated in real time as your listings go into MLS. You all receive them, and then we receive them directly from you all with a great landing page that your team has created for you. And we run these in your account, right? So when you see those emails for AdWorks come through, don't just delete them. Open them, especially if you've got a listing going on, because that's going to give you details about what we're doing with your listing, how many impressions you've gotten, how many clicks you've gotten. But again, that motion piece is huge. When we launched AdWorks many, many years ago, the market said, one of the most important things to do with an ad is humanize the ad. So we knew when we launched, when we created, that we have to have the agent's headshot front and center. One, not only because we know you would like it, because you want to make sure people are seeing your headshot, you want people to recognize you when they're seeing you, right? But then two, it also helps with with engagement. We know people are more likely to click when the ad has been humanized. Now, above and beyond that, when we were able to finally automate motion technology within your ads, we immediately rolled in Exceptional Realtors on this because we wanted you to also have the latest and greatest in technology. This really not only helps with engagement and with click-through, but also with retention. A consumer is much more engaged with an ad when they see motion on the ad, which helps with retention of that information. Because at the end of the day, we're wanting to make sure that you as an agent, Realty Executives Exceptional Realtors, is top of mind with all the consumers in your area, so that when they're ready to transact, they can move forward. Now, the reason why this is great is because you all go about your day-to-day business, and we're going to create an ad, launch it on the web, on social media, and target the right audience. Just like Doug mentioned there, right? There's a couple of really, really important targeting things about this ad, which I like to call the golden standard in targeting. One, we've got behavioral targeting. We're targeting people in the area around your property, just like Doug said, a 15-mile radius around your property. But we're not just like kind of spraying and praying, hoping that the right people see these ads, right? No, we're targeting people who are using Zillow, Realtor, mortgage calculators, researching moving companies, researching school districts, those patterns that are deemed real estate related. We're going to find those audience and target them online. One of the biggest questions I get all the time is, well, what websites are you all on? The truth is, we don't buy specific websites. What we're looking for is your consumer. So if somebody's looking for a property in that area, they could be on Food Network looking for a recipe. They can be in a local gardening blog in the area. If there's ad space, it's likely we can target them, right? So sometimes we're targeting the audience not only on big websites, but on really smaller websites, ones that they trust, that they know that they love to frequent, right? Which is really, really huge. Like Doug said, that geo targeting, it's that 15-mile radius around the property, which we know is important. National Association of Realtors says most people move within 11, 13, 15 miles of their previous home. And these ads not only help you target people who may be interested in your home, but also help you build your brand awareness. Many people think, well, this listing ad is going to help me sell my home. Maybe, maybe not. Do open houses help you sell your home? No, right? But they do help you advertise your property, advertise yourself as an agent, advertise your brand. And that's what these ads are doing. The 15-mile radius around the property, we want people in that area to know, Kyle's got this property in your area, this beautiful property, right? And get to see it and get to see that that's the agent that's being selected to list homes. And the biggest piece out of the listing campaign that I want you all to take home is that seller targeting. We want your sellers to receive that reporting. And the reason I'm so exciting is not because I'm trying to collect their emails, because we don't do anything with those emails, just so you know. First and foremost, we only send them the reporting, and you as an agent will always be copied to that. And I'll show you what that looks like. But the reason why it's big is because we want them to receive that email. We want them to see, wow, my agent is advertising my property. And then when the cool thing is, when they open that email, we can then target them online with our ad. And I'll talk about that in a second. But like I mentioned, you all will be receiving a daily report on these listing ads as they are running. So make sure you're opening those emails. Make sure you're checking it out. If you have a social media presence, you can share it on your own social media page. Like, hey, check out my new listing. Do you know anybody looking to buy or sell? Right? Now, what I do have some agents. Oh, let me just take some water. I don't know. I'm going to frog my throat.
Yeah, while you're taking a quick break, Eric, I just wanted to stress that what Eric's describing here is 100% paid for by the company. And it's something that we believe very strongly in, which is why we're doing this. We think it's the most effective means of getting the word out. And equally as important, it's a tremendous, tremendous listing tool. So we really want everyone to talk about this when they're on a listing, because there are very few companies in our market that are doing this on every listing the way we are. And we hope that it helps you win more listings, and that is a huge point of difference when a seller is potentially thinking about listing their home. Lastly, we did produce a video in conjunction with Adwerx, which is a a pre-listing video. And when we leave the meeting today, I'll send it out to everybody. And essentially, it's a YouTube video. It's only 1 minute, but it's designed to be sent to the seller before you go out on the listing presentation, to kind of show, oh, okay, Eric, you got it, perfect.
This is that minute video that I have, and you're right. It's so powerful, and not only should you maybe show it during your presentation, but like I said, like Doug is saying, I love to tell agents that, right? Maybe the day before, you're saying, hey, dear sellers, excited to meet you tomorrow. Maybe it's a confirmation email, right? Hey, we want to make sure 12 o'clock still works for both of you, and both of you are going to be present because it's important for this process. If you've got a minute, take a look at this video. We'd love to for you to see what sets us apart from the competition. So yes, I do have it, and I'm going to show it. I'm going to show this specific video where it lives in their portal for them to access easily and under their account.
Perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm sorry I cut you off. I don't know if there was anything else you wanted to say, Doug.
No, that was it. I mean, I just think the video itself, it's only, I don't know, 59 seconds, and it really is powerful, and it explains to the seller exactly what we're going to do when we first launched the property. And it's a main point of difference of our company to others in the market.
Absolutely. Because many sellers, are asking, so what are you going to do to advertise my property, right? They know that a digital presence is important. And most agents are saying, well, I'm going to syndicate it to realtor.com and Zillow, and I'm going to put it on my Facebook page. But this is a great way to say, I'm actually going to be super strategic about how I advertise your property to make sure the right people are seeing it and we get as much engagement as possible. So
if anybody has any questions, please feel free to put them right in the chat. The chat would be on the bottom right in the center, and you can just click on it and then ask any questions, and we'll be sure that Eric or Nick will answer the questions for us.
Absolutely, right? If you want to, raise your hand, write a question. Would love for this to be dynamic and kind of engage with you all, whatever, to make sure that we're answering your questions. But let me go ahead and play this video now. We are kind of on Google Meet. Some of your internets may be faster, some slower. So if it seems a little glitchy, know that is because we are on Google Meet, but you do have a link to this on your account to access at any time. It's a YouTube link, so all your sellers should easily be able to open it and watch it.
Hi, I'm Kelsey, your digital marketing specialist, and I'm here to talk to you about our online marketing strategy and how we plan to advertise and market your home. After listing your home with us, a custom digital advertisement will be created for your listing. This ad will be shown thousands of times to home buyers surrounding your property. Your home will be shown on Facebook and Instagram, as well as major websites like the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times on both desktops and in mobile apps. It will specifically target people looking at listings online, using online mortgage calculators, and researching moving companies. Just like Amazon might follow you around that pair of shoes you were just looking at, we'll follow home buyers with your property, keeping your home in front of potential buyers wherever they go online.
Oh, sorry about that.
Finally, you'll receive a daily report showing how your home's ad is performing. You'll also receive a link to share on your social network, letting your friends and family help spread the word about your listing. Feel confident that your home is in the best hands online and off, and list your home with us. We will truly work for you to get your home sold.
A couple of really important things in the video, right? And know that whatever you're seeing now is because I listen to a lot of music while I'm at work, and that's why the things that are being suggested to me on YouTube is music, because I listen to music on YouTube. But a couple of really important things in the video when you're sharing it. One, we're already coaching your sellers that, hey, when you receive this email, click on it. When they click on it, we have now cookied their browser and we can retarget them online. So really important. We're telling them, hey, open this email, read it, click on it, because we want to make sure then we start following them around with their own property so they can see your face, they can see your logo. Two, we're coaching them and saying, hey, when you receive it, make sure you share it to your social media, right? Share it on Facebook, share it on your social media. Now for them, they're thinking, yeah, I want to make sure that, my friends, family, people that follow me, help me sell my property. But what this is doing for you as an agent is if they share it on their own social media, they are now sharing to their social circle saying, hey, this is the person that I trust listing my property. This is the company that I trust listing my property. So it's a great way for you to get more advertising, a bigger digital presence to perhaps their social media following that perhaps may have not known you. So really important to add them to the campaign, make sure they're getting their emails, make sure that they can click on them. This will hopefully make sure we target them online. They can share it. So some big pieces on there that can help us coach your sellers in the process to make sure that you can take advantage of the listing ads. Now, again, like I mentioned, when this email campaign is received, they click on it, we now can start following that seller online. Our hope is to target them during that time with their own ad, their own property right there with your headshot, and get them really, really excited. And the only way that happens is through adding the seller information. Any questions on here before I do a quick demo on account to kind of do some housekeeping? I don't see anything in the chat box, but anything kind of percolating in your brains while we're talking about this? All right. I'm going to jump here on Teresa's account. Teresa, if you're here, don't worry. As I click around, I am not going to make any changes to your campaigns, but I did want you all to kind of see an account in real time, where the ads live, how you can edit them, how you can make changes. But know that when you are here, first and foremost, Realty Executives Exceptional Realtors has a great team within Bridget and Kyle, Doug, to take care of you all. Now, I know they're always there to make sure your campaigns are running. They give you a service that's can't be compared by anything else. I know they really, really want to make sure you guys have the support you need. But if for some reason you decide you have a question that you want to ask Adwerx directly, there is a way to set up a time with us directly. You can give us a call during business hours. If there's somebody available in the chat, you may be able to chat with our team. But know that you do have the ability to reach out to us if you have questions. Now, I know Bridget is always on it, making sure your campaigns are running, but you also have access to this link right here, free listing pitch video. You can click on it and it's going to take you directly to that video. You can go ahead and click share, copy this link, and now you can share that link with any of your sellers. Like I said, right? You can put it right on the email when you're emailing them the day before, the morning before, to confirm the appointment. Now, campaigns look like this when they're running. We've got here one for Teresa, her listing ad that is live. You did see that she added her seller information. That's great. That means her seller is receiving the daily report. But these campaigns do have the ability to be edited in real time. So let's say Teresa here, launched this listing, and then she decided, you know what, I'm going to have an open house this weekend, and this ad is running. It's still within that first week. She can quickly log into her account. Log in, click, edit, add. There is the ability to change it. Maybe she wants to do an open house banner right here, right? And where the price is right here, she's just going to change it to open Saturday, 1 to 3 p.m. Now think about it. This ad right here is targeting a 15-mile radius around the property, behaviorally targeting people around that property. And now you have a message that says open house on your ad. Super powerful, right? Because I know if you've got an open house, you're putting out open house signs. Maybe you're creating a little flyer and doing some door knocking in the neighborhood that you can have an open house. There's a lot of things that you're doing to prepare for the open house, because if you have an open house as an agent, I know you want to have a successful open house. This takes you 30 seconds, and you can edit your ad to target the geography behaviorally target the geography around your property with an open house message. Know that this is available to you. How long did it take me? Maybe 20 seconds to change the banner and put the name. You would just hit update. It would update and you're all done. Now you do have to go log back in once your open house is done to put it back to the just listed, put your list price, and maybe to continue running that message. But know that you have the ability to edit your ad just like you can do for an open house. Maybe you went under contract into 2 days and you want to advertise. Everybody do some post-contract advertising to everybody in the area that you got it under contract. Maybe you put a pending banner, right? And then you can change the message to sold quickly. Ask me how. Right? So now you've got a post-contract ad that's running again to a behaviorally target geography around the property, saying, hey, I got this property under contract quickly. Ask me how I can do it for you. Now, Once you update that message, and again, if Teresa, if you're here, I'm hitting cancel. I'm not making any changes to your campaign, but you can then change the landing page, right? So to say, well, instead of running it to a specific listing, let me go ahead and change it to my agent page. Now I want the consumers to click on it and go to my agent page, read about me as an agent, read about the other listings that I have, and kind of get a better idea for me to start helping you build your brand in that area. Any questions? What do you all think about this? Pretty simple, right? To get a super strategic targeted ad to an audience around you.
Mhm.
Awesome, y'all.
Yes, that's good.
All right. With that, we're gonna get to that piece that Doug was excited about. Some of those other campaigns that you can take advantage of, right? For being part of Realty Executives Exceptional Realtors, you already have 15% off any of our retail products, but you have ads that you can behaviorally target zip codes. You can upload a list of emails and target them. You have access to streaming TV commercials if you wish to do so. So some really, really cool tools available in your account. And the reason why this works is because I want to remind you all as agents, we are in relationship sales. Yes, we do focus as agents a lot on leads. Adwerx is not a lead generation platform, but it does help you build your brand awareness, which can then help you with, turning those leads into customers. But we are in the relationship business. How do we create? How do we grow? And how do we nurture our database? How do we stay top of mind with people that know us, love us, that are looking to transact in our market? For me, one of my favorite ones is our Sphere campaign, right? You have the ability to target a list of emails. You upload that list of emails. We target them with an ad, and we drive traffic wherever you want. You tell us where to drive traffic. So this can be, again, your former clients, friends, family, prospective clients, and you run this all the time, right? We're targeting them. I like to explain it like this. Imagine giving us a list of emails, and then we go into these clients' houses and put a magnet with your face on it on their fridge, maybe a couple times a week, right? So we put a magnet. They wake up to get a glass of orange juice. They see your face on their fridge, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Kelvin's in real estate. Man, he was awesome. He helped me sell my home or help me buy my home," right? They grab it, they put it in the drawer. 3 days later, we show up, boom, we put another magnet on their fridge. And now they're seeing your face again. What that's doing is that's helping you stay top of mind with this super huge. We've got one here for Roxanne. She's driving a really cool ad to her Sphere. She's also targeting a specific geography. She's doing what we call a brand radius. So she's got some really cool ads that are running here. She's running a really tailored message to the business that works for her. She knows her market. She knows where she is, and she's running a tailored message. She's created her own landing page, which I'm going to show you, really cool, with the help of those powered agent packages that Doug and Kyle and Bridget have created for you. You have the ability to create some really cool videos to advertise yourself. So as you're seeing this right here for Roxanne, she's got this one running. I'm going to go to her account right here. She's got her campaign running on her account. Now, I told you can change the destination page, right? Well, we can also view it. You will see that now in her destination page, she's got this video, this personalized video that talks to an audience that says, "Hey, I've got, this is my market. This is why you want to work with me. Let me help you," which is really cool. Again, you get to create your own campaign. You get to tailor it. Doug, Kyle, and Bridget are helping you create a custom ad. Again, humanizing with a headshot, the motion, all those things that we know are important. Your team is helping you create this beautiful motion ad and drive traffic to your own landing page that they've created for you that you can customize, again, to continue that message. And this is not only through your powered agent packages, but also you can do the same thing at a higher level with with different products with Adwerx that Nick will be talking about. But Doug, is there anything you want to kind of touch on this that perhaps I missed on?
No, just to make sure that everybody fully understands, what Adwerx can do is they can target a geographic area, which is what we're doing currently. When you get a listing, we're targeting a 15-mile radius around the listing, and we're specifically targeting people that have shown some type of interest in real estate. or mortgage or moving companies, with the theory that they're the most likely to be buying or selling a home. The other thing that AdWorks can do, and that's what Nick's going to talk a little bit about, is they can target specifically email addresses. Now, they're not emailing your clients or the people within your sphere. What they're doing is, through artificial intelligence, they're able to be where your email addresses, where those email addresses go online, that's where they're targeting. So for the purpose of staying in touch with people within your sphere, it's a super, super powerful way. There's certainly people in all of our spheres that we may not have talked to or had any contact with in a year or 2 or 5. This is a way that, one additional way to stay in touch and to be front and center so that the people remember that you're in real estate and that you're the local expert. Eric?
No, yeah, perfect. I mean, you really nailed it on the head, right? Those are the two things we do. We have a geographic and behavioral ad, and we have an email ad. And like he said, this is not an email drip campaign. I'm sure you've got your own email drip campaigns running. Don't stop those. Those are important. We know that. Everything you're doing is important. This is just to complement these pieces with a digital component, because we know digital ads work. But yes, you give us a list of emails. Our systems can find those emails logged in. All of us are logged in to our devices with our emails. We're logged into social media with our emails. So our systems can find those people and target them with your ads to help you to stay top of mind. The reason we know, right? I'm showing here 7 days. But Doug mentioned 5 years. Imagine if somebody you haven't talked to a consumer or to a past client in 5 years. Unfortunately, we know they're going to forget our name. They tell us they forget our names, right? So how do we make sure we stay top of mind? And that's with consistently hitting them with an ad, with a digital display ad, right? Boom, they're going to see your face. Perhaps maybe one day they'll scroll past it because they're really into an article. But that means the next time we're going to catch them and they're going to see you, and we're going to bring you top of mind, which is really huge. When I was in real estate, for me, it was always, how do I make sure I stay top of mind with my past clients, with prospective clients looking to buy, right? Because you'll call some people and they'll say, well, I'm about 1.5 years out. Okay, how do I make sure I stay top of mind so that when they are actually ready to transact, boom, they think of me and to give me a call. So having these ads just touch them ever so softly, a couple times a week, is a great way to do so. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Nick so he can talk about some of those awesome top performer packages that we put together. Gives you the ability to really take your sphere campaign, take your brand radius. You can even maybe roll in some streaming TV if that's something that's important to you. If your market bears streaming TV, it could be a great tool for you to advertise your listings and yourself. So with that, Nick, I'm gonna stop presenting. If you wanna take over the, does that work for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
All right, let me try and pull up my screen here. I'm typically a Zoom guy, but let me see if I can.
Yeah, while Nick is doing that, let me just say this. With all these ads that we run, they all encourage the consumer to click on the ad. And when you click on the ad, it'll go to what's called a landing page. The landing page right now, when we're doing it for new listings, we're typically sending it right to the virtual tour on that property that we've already created, so they get a good interior, exterior look at the property. But you can, when you're setting up a campaign, if you choose to do one for your sphere or for a specific geography, what you can do is you can determine what the landing page is. And the landing page could be a link to the website, it could be a lead capture site, or it could be a video. And that's what Eric was referring to earlier. We recently did a program with Roxanne Ryan out of our Lake Ariel office, where when you click on her, it's saying, do you want information about Poconos? When you click on it, it actually leads to a video of Roxanne talking, and it's a much more personalized way to get to the consumer. She's running that as a means of trying to generate leads for utilizing this program. Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to talk a little bit about our top producer packages, and these are going to be completely agent centric. And so this one's got my ugly mug on it, of course, but basically we'd be taking an ad of yourself and putting it in front of these relevant groups. And we're able to kind of mix and match these different campaigns that I'll briefly run through, dependent on your own goals. And with these packages, we've just packed in a bunch of value and additional automation for you. So I'm going to bring up a really just super quick deck here. And I think, similarly to the listing ads that we just covered, the biggest value to me for these top producer packages is going to be in that automation. Like, no additional bandwidth for me, no time. I don't have to be a digital marketing expert to launch these things. We already have the collateral and the templates on hand to basically flip a switch and put you in front of these relevant groups of people at best practices. Now, for y'all that aren't as familiar with Adwerx at this point, I'm not sure if everyone is, we are specific to real estate and mortgage. And so as Eric kind of covered, everything we're doing is focused around relationship-based sales, where I don't want to say it's, commoditized, because there's different service levels and all of that, but the real product is yourself, right? We need to take your face and your brand and leverage that and make sure people remember it and stay top of mind with those individuals, not just with our listings, but of course with ourselves to drive the seller volume as well. Now, just to kind of tag on to the inventory.
Hey, Nick,
Yeah.
real quick, we're still seeing your ESPN screen. So you mentioned pulling up a deck, so I'm not sure if we should be seeing your deck or not.
Gotcha. My fault. Yes.
If you pull it into that screen, it should be. There we go. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sorry.
My apologies. As mentioned, I haven't been on a Google Meet for a long time here, so thank you for stopping me. Yeah, haven't covered too much there. Just wanted to.
It's a black screen now. It was showing, but I don't know why it turned black. There we go.
Maybe we'll have to do it like this. We'll do it this way. Okay.
Perfect.
So yeah, as mentioned, just going to talk inventory a little bit here. One thing I wanted to add is, and as Eric mentioned, everything is 100% audience based. And so what we're doing is we're finding the correct people and then putting the ads in front of them where they go. Now, one thing that we do, talking about the branding and the brand affinity for yourself as an agent, is we whitelist the top 1,200 most visited websites. And so what that does is we put priority on, say, the New York Times or on YouTube ahead of just like a local blog, because it really plays into that, referral verification, that trust, and how we build that trust digitally. We think those impressions, hold higher value. And so those are the websites you're going to be seeing on some of the biggest websites across the internet. Now, when we're talking about outside of our listings, okay, what are some of the relevant groups of people that we need to target? In the first one, and we kind of hit on this with that Sphere campaign, is like 75% of all transactions on both sides of the deal come through some type of referral. And that data, is across the country at large. For people that are more tenured, it could even be 95%. And so we lean into that as a platform. As mentioned, real estate specific. And what we see is it's very hard to drive immediate transactions in real estate, just meaning it's a B2C transaction and it's a lot of money for an individual, right? And so one of the best things that we can do is constantly stay in front of them and just vie for that little piece of mind share in that group. That's really the engine of your business. If we're not doing that in some type of systemized manner at best practices, there's absolutely money on the table there. So it's kind of the first place I like to go. Now, a little more long tail, but it's compounding, would be the folks that are in our geographic area, but they might not know us from Adam yet. We haven't used them in the past. They're not from the database, but we know they're relevant based on their browsing activity. And so we'll also talk about that group. Again, not as immediate, in my opinion, as like, hey, that engine, that database, but it's compounding. Those are the referrals of tomorrow and the repeat business of tomorrow. So I think that segment's critically important as well. The last one on here, we threw on maybe like a year ago. I was talking to a lot of agents and brokers where they're saying, hey, talking to people that are qualified, been showing properties, 5-6 different properties, whatever, and they haven't made a move yet. And that's kind of due to these macroeconomic conditions we've been experiencing, just hyperbolic interest rates, limited inventory across the country, et cetera. So these qualified people are going to make a move at some point. It's just about, who are they going to work with 6 months down the road? And so how do we stay in front of that group of people, make sure we capture that revenue, but it's not taking up all of our bandwidth, right? There's only so many different times we can call and text this group of people. We kind of just need to stay in front of them for when they are ready to make that transaction. All right, so it's kind of a representation of the platform. Some of these have been touched on. I'll expand a little bit on them. A few other ones I'll go more in depth. But talking about that first really critical market segment, that's probably the engineer business, that referral network. We have that sphere campaign. And I think, we've covered the targeting on there. We call it custom audience or a sphere campaign. I have it as custom audience here because we're literally customizing the audience, right? Taking exact individuals, showing them the exact messaging we want at whatever frequency we want. And so it's probably the most targeted thing we do, maybe the most creepy thing, but also the most effective thing that we do. And so this would be the bulk of, the past customers, current customers, the prospects, the leads. We we filter them into this campaign, and we're keeping you top of mind 365 with that group of people with your own face forward ad. And so it's really powerful, both as like that referral engine. But on the flip side of things, it's also great for lead nurture. So imagine you're out, you're networking, shaking hands, kissing babies, whatever it is. You talk to someone that's saying, hey, thinking about buying an investment property, or I have a cousin moving to town, whatever it is. You can filter them into that campaign, and they're seeing your face on ESPN.com the next day. And so before you even make that contact point via phone call or whatever it is, we already have them in that funnel, which I think is super effective. Now, the other thing I want to mention about these campaigns, and Eric talked a little bit like, hey, email drip's great, it's really affordable, etc. It is pretty saturated at this point. I think open rates across the country for real estate on those campaigns is like 10%, a lot of unsubscribes, and it can feel pesky at times. What I really like about this touch point, especially for the referral base, is it's high quality. They're seeing your face, they're seeing your brand, and they're seeing it on a major website, which instills that trust. The second thing is it's significantly less intrusive. I would posit here, because these people are going to see ad space either way. Whether it's you, it's a pair of shoes, it's a golf club they just looked at, whatever it is. There's kind of that social agreement that this is ad space. And so you're just buying for that little piece of mind share, and it allows you to get that high quality touch point, you're facing your brand, but do it in a less intrusive way and do it at a higher frequency, because there's only so many times you can text drip and so many newsletters you can send people. And so that's a few of the reasons I think it's really a great medium, especially for that referral base there. Now I'll pause for a second. Any questions on that? And then I'll just kind of run through a few of these other ones. Okay. All right. Yeah. You throw in the chat box as well as they come up. So, or just feel free to unmute yourself and ask. But yeah, so that's really that 75% group that I think is going to be the engineer business. And if you don't have some type of system in place to make sure you're staying in front of these people, that's going to be the most revenue we can kind of unlock immediately. Now, secondary piece that we've hit on a little bit is these geographic campaigns. And I'll show you kind of what that looks like, but this will be addressing that audience of people. Hey, they might not have worked with us before, but we know they're relevant because we know, we're gathering that activity online, and they're in our stomping ground, our farming area. So this one's more akin to like a digital billboard, like Eric mentioned. Just imagine like, okay, we have that billboard up. Well, now we can guarantee that every single car that drives by that billboard is in market for our services. And so that can be really effective there. Basically what we can do is we can select any geographic area, big or small, and then we add in that behavioral component, as mentioned, where people are browsing Realtor, Redfin, all these different websites for real estate. They're using mortgage calculator tools to see what they qualify for. But either way, we're identifying these individuals in our stomping ground. They're warming to market, or they're in market currently for realtor services. And so that's other, addressable 25% of our business that we're going to get. And of course, is compounding into the future. This is how we're able to address it and really, hit everyone that's relevant in that area, but also stay way above board on like redlining and stuff like that, right? We're not in compliance. So we're not doing demo targeting, anything like that. We're just saying, hey, this is my geographic area. I want everyone to know that what I do and that I'm relevant for what they're looking for now. And so that, of course, pairs really, really nicely with that custom audience campaign and kind of rounds it out a little bit.
Nick, can I add something, please?
Yes, of course.
I just wanted to, give you an idea. on a campaign like this, you can actually pick the geographic area that works best. So, I mean, just to give an example, what Eric had shown before, what Roxanne Ryan is doing, she finds that a tremendous number of the buyers that she's dealing with are coming out of either Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, or Long Island. So what she did was, with her campaign, she's targeting the center of Manhattan and a 15-mile radius around that. So she's hitting all the boroughs of Manhattan, all the people who might potentially be interested in buying a home in the Poconos. So, I mean, you have complete control of what the message is. Like with what Nick just showed, it really didn't, it was just a picture of him, but you can have a specific message that you want to put out there, like what Roxanne did, and then pick the geographic 15-mile radius that you want to hit. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, correct. I mean, call to action, headshot, all these things are completely customizable and it's templatized. And, we would facilitate that for you as well, including, dropping the pins with the top producer packages. So you consult with someone like myself or someone else, and we could kind of dive through, hey, what makes sense strategically in terms of the different campaigns, where are we dropping the pins? But it'd be hands off for you, which I think is important. But yeah, to Doug's point, could vary what makes sense strategically. Sometimes, we might be marketing somewhere that's not even our local area to us, just kind of dependent on how you're set up and what you're doing with your other marketing mediums. Just a layer on top of that, this data is specifically about the Sphere campaign in terms of, direct productivity. We can link to that in terms of list and buyer volume. Having said that, I just want to point out, when we're talking about direct mailers, we're talking about email drip. What we see is kind of the silver lining of the platform is that when we have that high repetition on the digital side and they're seeing our brand in our face as they're browsing, we get a huge bump in efficacy of these marketing mediums as well. So we see direct mailers, response rates go up fourfold, for example. And so we can, if you're doing any type of mailers, we can literally overlay that same geography with our geo campaigns. Now you're hitting people from multiple mediums, and it just becomes a lot stickier that way and converting at a much higher rate. And of course, that also, with that Sphere campaign, is relevant to email drip as well. So converting a lot higher, and the open rates on those go up over 75%. And so I guess what I'm saying is that I really look at digital as the backbone, right? This is going to be, we're going to have the highest repetition. It's where people spend their time. If you work remotely like myself, I'm on the computer like 10 hours a day, right? And so we're going to the people. And nothing's a silver bullet. So you kind of layer these mediums a little bit, becomes even more effective. And so that kind of covers that custom audience, that sphere of influence. Of course, our in-market consumers on both sides of the deal. Two more quick ones I'll talk about. One of which is retargeting, which I don't think we've talked about yet on this call. And it's very straightforward, but very effective campaign for a few different reasons. So when I say retargeting, I'm not sure if you have other websites or anything like that. Just looking at these landing pages, let's take Donna, for example. It's going to function very much like Amazon or any big e-commerce store, for example. Let's say you go and you look at, that pair of shoes and you click off, and then what do you know? That same pair of shoes is in your Facebook feed or the sidebar of Yahoo or whatever it is. We can do that for your page or your website as well. And there's a couple of reasons why I really like this campaign. For one, it probably has the most data behind it, and it's kind of intuitive, right? Someone's showing an interest in a product or service that you have. Well, that person can be significantly further down funnel than people we're doing just cold outbound to. For example, we need to make sure we convert those individuals. But the other thing with these campaigns, we can talk about, cost and stuff like that if we want to, is that these pages don't get huge amounts of traffic, and so they don't need tons of impressions. So it's typically a very affordable thing to have in there. Having said that, it's high quality traffic because we're so much more niche down than, say, if you were to be browsing e-commerce, right, where it gets a lot of browse traffic. If someone's hitting Donna's page, they probably saw a sign in a yard, they Googled for an agent, they got a referral, whatever it is. We know it's relevant traffic. And so to be able to automatically retarget and capture those individuals, to me, is almost like the most no-brainer of the campaigns we do. So pretty straightforward there, a lot of data behind it, and you see these big e-commerce shops and stuff dump a lot of money into it. Everybody's had this experience, and that's because it's really, really effective to do so. And so, of course, we could pixel that page and get retargeting going for you there as well. And the last one I'm just going to hit on briefly is going to be this connected TV streaming campaign. And Eric hit on it a little bit. There's a couple of reasons why I really like it. And just so we're on the same page with what we're actually doing here. I'm sure a lot of you do streaming individually in your personal life, any of these platforms that have third-party ad content. And so a good example would be like Hulu, or if you're on like a Roku or a smart TV, like Sling and Fubo and all these different applications you can launch. Any premium cable being streamed through internet connection. And so it's a top funnel touch point. It's pure branding, but it's much more affordable than traditional TV. And since we're through an internet connection, we're able to be significantly more targeted as well. And just like we're talking about kind of overlaying these different mediums, what we're able to do, okay, we got our digital backbone, potentially some mailers, whatever it is. We're going to salt and pepper TV impressions right over there as well. And you don't have to create any content. I'll show you what that looks like. But then, we're getting really high quality impression on a different medium. When we're talking relationship-based sales, that TV impression can be really effective. And so I really like it for real estate specifically. One, because real estate's a pretty legacy industry. And so I don't know if you're watching Hulu or, whatever it happens to be. I'm not seeing a ton of local realtors at this point. I think 3 to 5 years down the road is going to be potentially a lot bigger, but I like it for a medium now as a way to kind of stick out in that hyper local stomping ground that you're potentially farming. And so we have a number of curated commercials. I'm happy to play. Actually, I will play one just to give you an example. They're 30-second cut commercials. Just know from a content perspective, we can distribute your content if you had like a luxury walkthrough, some testimonials, whatever it might be. But the way that these function is, we select that geography, the number of commercials we want to play, one click, and you're on all these major streaming platforms. So it's really, really streamlined and easy for you guys. And it's got that high perceived barrier to entry, which plays into that trust. People they see someone they know on TV, or they got a referral and they see that agent on TV. I mean, it's a no-brainer at that point. So let me play one just so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. It's templatized, so the overlay on the bottom thirds of the commercial and then bookmarked on each end would have like your headshot, brand standards, catchphrase, QR code if you wanted to. Again, as Doug mentioned, for demo purposes, I have a pretty straightforward ad, but all that can be customized in terms of what our goals are and what our messaging needs to be for that particular area. So let me play one as an example, and then we'll kind of round up here.
Oh, Nick, I can't hear the actual words they're saying. I don't know why.
Okay, sorry about that. I might be when I go full screen that I'm having these issues. Let me try one more time, and if not, what I'll do is I can add some links to take a look at.
Yeah, and we can also send a follow-up, like a follow-up email, and I know the team, knowing Exceptional Realtors, will also be able to help you create your own custom commercial at some point. You can always upload your own, but if you want to give it one last strike, Nick, that works.
Okay, I just did a second ago. It sounds like it probably wasn't coming through then. So,
sorry about that. No, yeah,
no,
I guess.
No worries. My fault there. But yeah, it's templatized, just meaning that you don't have to create the content itself, and there's a number of different commercials to choose from. And so, hey, if you want to explore with some TV, it's really completely set up and easy to do so. You also get reporting on exactly where those commercials were played. And so, as a medium, TV is naturally a little bit harder to measure, but we are measuring it to the best of industry practices, basically, which is kind of nice. So that's kind of the layout of the different things we're able to put into these different packages. And I'll end here and then open it for questions and further thoughts from Eric and Doug there. But basically, when we package these different things together, we're able to provide a lot of additional value to both of you. Of course, the automation, as well as the upgrade in service in terms of having premium support, so a different support team as well. You're able to get significantly more impressions with these packages. So your exposure could go up, 3x, 4x, instead of doing this on a per diem type of basis. And so happy to dive into that. If anyone has any interest in what I just talked about, we'll share some links to get in touch with me and Eric and have a quick conversation to see what could make sense. But yeah, let me know any questions, and hopefully I covered what I needed to cover there. Eric, let me know if you want me to hit anything else, but I'll pass it back to you.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you have a slide there with some of the basic packages and the starter packages and with some numbers to kind of just give them an idea of, how they can start at a level and go to a different level, because it's also, not only do they have access through Exceptional Realtors to kind of launch some of their own packages, but we also have our own packages that they can take advantage of, and depending on how many impressions you want. And I think those bonus impressions, kind of like you mentioned, are important. So anything you can cover in that with, I think would be great.
Yeah, sure. I didn't know we were going to talk, individual packages or pricing or anything on this call, but basically we're able to scale anywhere. We're talking specifically the top. I want to make a delineation here because there's other options, right? I know Doug's got some options on board. Of course, there's a portal and stuff, but we're talking about kind of automating, putting some of these together, consulting with us in terms of targeting and having that on autopilot. Number of different packages, and again, we're talking significant additional impressions with each one of these, because we are kind of doing a bigger thing and packaging them together. So if you were to launch this exact campaign through the portal, you have 30,000 less impressions for the same price point. And so that's kind of part of the value proposition. Hey, if you want to kind of do a larger scale with us, we're able to do much better in terms of the actual exposure you're getting on the back end. But I'd say from a pricing perspective, we're able to scale anywhere between $500 to $1,000 per month. At that kind of $500 level, and this is a example from impression standpoint. We can still tweak these a lot. There's other packages, but just to give you an idea of what we see at best practices, 5,000 impressions on that kind of that database of individuals. So if you had, say, 500 people in that database, that'd be a great fit. We have other ones that have 1,000 impressions. If you don't have as many, you'll have 100 people, for example, or of course to have more. And then that local area ad. So that geographic, we're calling it local area, but that geo campaign with that behavioral component in there. And so we're able to kind of package these different things together. We can give you significantly more value and give you an additional 30,000 impressions. So kind of doubling or even tripling rather what we're able to do with that local area. And then as we scale up, we're able to add in thousands of TV commercials per month as well, retargeting in there as well, 50,000 additional impressions that you get if you were to put this through the portal as a per diem. And of course, that would take some lift on your side to do so, or you'd have the team probably do that for you. But from a pricing perspective, we could look at different options in terms of how many contacts you have, what are your geographic areas that we want to cover, and it'd be somewhere between that 500 to 1,000 per month to be looking at these different options here and be best value for you. So hopefully that covered it. Just know there's a lot of options in between those two, but just from a pricing perspective, that's the ballpark I'd be thinking if we want to talk about it.
Perfect, Nick. Yeah, and it's perfect, right? I kind of just wanted to give them a better idea so that then they can say, okay, but it's true, kind of like Nick said, right? Let's connect, see what you're wanting to focus on your business. Some people are going to say, no, you know what? I have a huge sphere and I just want to focus heavy on my sphere with a little bit of that brand radius. Some are going to say, no, I have a smaller sphere, but I'd rather do a larger brand radius to kind of connect me with some people in my area that perhaps I haven't, that don't know me. So really, 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 really important. Like I mentioned, we will be sending up a follow-up email. You can set up a call with Nick to kind of discuss in greater detail. But before, let me go ahead and screen share one more time here. Move my screen, ensure that it's coming through. Awesome. One thing, don't forget, whenever, if anybody here in this call perhaps has never logged into their Exceptional Realtors Adwerx account and you're wanting to do so, make sure you go into exceptionalrealtors.adwerx.com. I get a lot of people that go just directly to adwerx.com and they're like, I don't have an account. Well, Exceptional Realtors has customized your own portal with your own color. So you want to make sure you're seeing your logo on the top left, you're seeing your name, you're seeing your colors. If you're here, you're in the right place. There's going to be a login button in the top right, and you can log in directly through there. If you've never logged in, go ahead and follow the forgot password prompts. We can get you into your account, but make sure you go into your Exceptional Realtors. One last thing, as a reminder, and Doug mentioned it, right? You've got these listing ads. These are taken care of for you by Exceptional Realtors. It is important for Doug to make sure to advertise all of all of your listings, the brand, to make sure you've got that digital presence in your area, which also helps you all in the long run. So make sure you're engaging with it. Make sure you're taking advantage of it, because Doug, Kyle, Bridget, they're taking care of you all. They've got it running. We want to make sure you guys know that they're there. Kyle's got one more question here.
Yes, thank you, Eric and Nicholas. Thank you so much for putting this up here. I wanted to jump in here real quick just to say that I put in the text message area a link to our Rex Exceptional page where we talk about Powered Agent. It was brought up a couple of times here during the webinar. And as Nicholas had spoken about some of the packages that are involved with Adwerx, please understand, and we started with this, is that the programs that Nicholas was talking about, number one, the motion ads. Motion ads are, when you have a listing, you've got it. Company paid for. It's already coming out. Every listing that we do put out there has a 1 week motion ad that goes out with your name and face on it, and obviously is advertising the property that you just listed. The program that we have with Powered Agent, we introduced last May, and on our website we have a little bit more detail about it. But what's important to recognize is that the Essentials package that we put together for there is a program that starts at $175 a month. So we have programs that are very inexpensive when it comes down to utilizing the programs that Adwerx has. The Sphere campaign is part of what we call the Essentials package. And then we do take it a step further to go into the custom audience, where we have packages available for the custom audience that goes up to $250 a month. So we have options in here to work with. Bridget Hudzik, obviously, who does most of our training on these programs, is the point person to talk to about putting together these programs for you. And we have some agents in the company that have been doing this. We've got some great feedback on it, and Adwerx has been a terrific partner in helping us reach the goals of you reaching your sphere of influence and marketing to your target markets. So I just wanted to jump in on that. So thank you very much for your presentation today. Doug?
Absolutely. I think it's great, right? I mean, you've got your program started, so you can go anywhere from 175 to 1,000, whatever works for you, whatever is necessary for you. Yes, Catherine.
Kathy, you're on mute.
Yep.
Here you go.
It's also very inexpensive if you decide to extend the ad, and it's very easy to do it. Or if you'd like to add a banner, like I just did one this morning with a new price. So it's worth it to do. You can get it 2 weeks for $100, and it goes out all over again. Clients are very impressed when you do that. You know,
Thanks,
especially if
Catherine.
you convince them to do a price reduction.
I'm so glad that works for you, because I do sometimes tell agents that, be like, hey, 30, 45 days down the road, you're trying to negotiate that price reduction with your sellers, which they can dig their heels. Be like, listen, let's lower it $5,000, $10,000, and I'm going to launch, a week, 2 weeks of advertising to make sure that everybody in the area knows about our price improvement. So I'm glad it's working for you. That's wonderful.
And it's very, very easy to do with your account. So just keep that in mind, that some of the properties are starting to be on the market more than just the 3 days that the sellers think it should be.
Correct. Yeah. So it's great for the sellers to receive the reporting, see that it's going on, because then they're not asking you, what are you doing? As those showings aren't coming through, they want to know what you're doing. Well, you're emailing them daily saying, hey, these are the impressions, this is what we're doing. And then
if anybody has any questions about how to set up a campaign, or if you need ideas on what the messaging could be, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to work with you on it. We can help you create videos. We can do a number of different things. It's really just a matter of deciding whether you want to do a geographic type of marketing piece or a piece directly to your sphere. I personally love the sphere marketing, because these are people that already know you, that you've had some relationship with, and you can now message them directly on websites, Facebook, Instagram, wherever they go. They're going to see you, and they're going to see your message. So if you do need any assistance, let me know. Any kind of technical issues with that you're not sure of how to log into the account, certainly feel free to reach out to Bridget.
One last thing I'd like to add here is that in the Rex Exceptional Powered Agent programs that we have in there, you'll notice another company, and I just want to plug another presentation that we're going to be having at Works that is next Monday at 11 a.m., not at 10 a.m. They are a West Coast company. Experience.com is going to be with us, and we're going to do a similar type presentation that we had today. Adwerx and Experience are great companies that work in conjunction together very well with what programs that we offered. And again, if you remember, Experience.com has to do with surveys and such. So obviously your sphere is extremely important to market to, but they are probably your biggest fans as well. And utilizing them and having them complete surveys for you is a big thing for you to be able to advertise out on the internet and also show off to new clients. So I wanted to make sure that you're aware of that. Our advertising for that presentation is going to be coming out to you here shortly. And please make sure that you're here for next Monday at 11 a.m. for experience.com. Thanks.
Awesome. And one last thing, thank you for your time. I know it's valuable. You do have, I've created a coupon code you can take advantage for the next week. Exceptional Realtors 10, give you an extra 10% off your campaigns. And I'll also be raffling off a $250 credit towards a quarterly sphere campaign. So Doug will be able to provide me with the list of attendees. I'll do a little wheel to select a winner. And yeah, we'll be following up with an email. So thanks again for taking the time to join us this morning.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Eric. Thank you, Nicholas. Thanks,
Awesome.
everybody, for being part of the meeting.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Bye.
You all have a good week. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.